They create the best soundtrack for your life, but in reality, you wouldn't want to have them at your dinner party. They are your favorite and brilliant musicians who create the best sounds but are not so good at being humans. From notorious narcissists to real-time criminals, these artists might make you rethink your fandom. Join us as we expose the musicians you wouldn't want to meet in real life, and here's why. Jennifer Lopez. Undoubtedly, Jennifer Lopez is one of the best stars in Hollywood, not only because of her good looks but also for her unique talent. And honestly, if not all, most women just want to be like her, or at least meet with her in real life with the hopes of getting the secrets of her ageless beauty, maybe. But for those who have met her personally, they definitely no longer look forward to a meeting with her, and even you may just want to never meet with her after this video. It all started with rumor mills frequently buzzing that Jennifer is difficult to work with because of her attitude in real life. At the time, most of her fans didn't believe in all of that, and that's because rumors are rumors, until they get validated, right? Well, the rumor was soon validated when a United Airlines flight attendant revealed that he asked Jennifer Lopez for her food order on the plane, but she refused to answer him directly and instead turned to her personal assistant to say, "Please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke and lime." The attendant was very sad because he was a big fan of Jennifer and saw her as a really sweet person in her movies. If it was just one person, we most likely wouldn't be here having this discussion, but even after this guy, a few other corporate flight attendants came forward to say Jennifer Lopez isn't always comfortable with female attendants on board. One of them said in an interview, "After completely taking out everything in the drawers to fill them with all her preferred items, I was told I had to fly home because she didn't want a female flight attendant. Only to have to come back and Uber to the airplane and reset my items, because it was only a one-way flight." This is not the first time when Jennifer Lopez has been blamed for being rude to others. Her infamous 1998 interview where she took a dig at Gwyneth Paltrow, Salma Hayek, and Winona Ryder still remains a hot topic of discussion among the netizens. While it's common to see rude individuals everywhere, what sets Jennifer Lopez apart is the fact that she created an image of herself as a very down-to-earth human, claiming she's from the block. While her mistakes can be overlooked for a meet and greet that most likely won't happen, someone you most likely won't want to meet is Tim Lambesis. Timothy Peter Lambesis isn't just known to be an American musician and producer but also known as the founding member, lead vocalist and sole continuous member of the metalcore band As I Lay Dying. On multiple occasions, Tim had said that he is a devout Christian, and even in an interview on the Full Armor of God broadcast back in August 2010 he said, "I can only really write about what I'm passionate about in life, so naturally my faith, my belief in the teachings of Jesus and his resurrection come across in our lyrics." This would have made his fans, especially his Christian fans, look up to him, want to be like him, and definitely want to meet him. However, all of that would soon be ruined by a terrible act of crime committed by this gospel artiste, but not so fast. It all started when he suddenly sent a message to his wife, Megan Murphy, who he married in June 2004, that he was no longer interested in their marriage and that he was having an extramarital affair, adding that he was no longer a Christian. Perhaps the most shocking part of his message was not the breakup but the part he mentioned he is no longer a follower of Christ. Soon after, the two separated and began the process of getting divorced officially. While fans were still trying to grasp the idea behind the whole situation, Tim was planning something heinous behind everyone. It all came to light on May 7, 2013 when Tim was arrested in Oceanside, California, for attempting to hire a hitman to murder his estranged wife. Unknown to Tim, the hitman he paid was an undercover detective who made his arrest quick and easy. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison for soliciting an undercover detective to kill his wife but only served 3 years and was released on December 17, 2016. But guess who got away with crime completely? Peter Buck. While on the plane, Peter Buck couldn't take his eyes off the bottle of wine the air hostesses were serving. He kept asking to be poured the wine until he had 15 bottles to drink in no time. For a strong wine, 15 bottles is a lot, and soon, it started showing its effect on Peter, who suddenly overturned a service cart and punched the walls of the plane. As if that was not enough, he mistook a hostess trolley for a CD player, claimed a stranger was his wife, and tussled with crew members, covering them with yogurt. That's not all. Peter Buck displayed the highest level of drunkenness when he announced he was going home mid-flight and proceeded to an exit door before he was held back by free members. After Peter became sober, he realized that he had made a mess of himself, but it was too late to make amends and was soon arrested on April 21, 2001. He claimed he had taken a sleeping pill, which mixed with the wine and led to the unintentional activity he claimed he had no memory of. The attendant who fell victim of Peter's harassment expressed her shock, fear, and disbelief, but fortunately for Peter his charges were eventually dropped as his famous friends insisted it was out of character, all claiming that Peter was famously peaceful. At least, we were not on the flight with Peter Buck and there was no video to prove whatever he did, but the one who committed a crime in the presence of his fans and so many cameras is Afroman. It all happened during a performance in Biloxi, Mississippi in 2015 when a woman somehow got on stage and started dancing next to him. Suddenly and without a warning, Afroman turned and landed a right-handed blow to her face. The woman went down hard, bleeding and crying, but somehow, Afroman kept on performing. Eventually, cops stopped the show, escorted him off the stage and arrested him for assault. You must be wondering why Afroman hit a fan. Well, that was how everyone wondered until his representative presented an explanation saying Afroman had no idea the fan was a woman and that he was only protecting himself due to lack of security. In the end, he was placed on a $330 bond and settled with the fan, who filed a lawsuit by paying her $65,000. Next on this list is one of the most controversial musicians of our time, Kanye West. It's no news that there's always one thing or the other to discuss about Kanye West, and as he makes headlines, so do various lawsuits against him pile up. In one of those cases in 2022, he made the headlines for a series of erratic racist comments, and not long after, he got sued for harassment by a former assistant named Lauren Pichata. She alleged that Kanye sent her lewd messages and videos, behaved appallingly over the phone, and wrongfully terminated her contract. But that was not even as shocking as Kanye allegedly pissing people up with his strange demands during performances. In one of those moments that quickly swept the internet, Kanye West stopped his concert and repeatedly asked a wheelchair user to stand up, while he was being recorded. He said, "I decided I can't do this song, I can't do the rest of the show until everybody stands up. Unless you got a handicap pass and you get special parking." It turned out that some of his fans did qualify for a handicap pass, and rather than being passed over, they were brought to the attention of the entire arena, who urged the disabled fans to stand up, as prompted by Kanye. He then pointed to one of the disabled fans in the crowd, saying he made him wait for too long. With the crowd booing, some closer to the fan tried to signal to Kanye that the boy was in a wheelchair. After apparently seeking further verification from a bouncer, he then realized he had made a mistake and agreed to let the fan sit. While anyone who cares about his reputation would have learned from such mistakes, Kanye once again decided to ask for proof of disability from the fans in the crowd at his next show in Brisbane. Is that common to celebrities these days? Maybe going crazy comes with the package, as displayed in the past by Billy Idol. You may know Billy Idol as a fundamental member of London's burning punk scene, as well as being a pillar of the punk group Generation X. But trust us when we say it's all not limited to his music. Billy definitely checked off most of the entries on a rock star's bucket list, from his bleached blonde hair to his permanently snarling lip. Of course, near the very top of that list is the ceremonial trashing of a hotel room. But while you would have imagined throwing a TV out the window or having a good fight, Billy took things a little too far while staying at the Oriental Hotel in Thailand. He took too many illicit drugs that he was found unresponsive in the doorway of an elevator, with the doors opening and closing on him. Before then, he had trashed the whole place and caused nearly $250,000 worth of damage, leaving the hotel management no choice but to call the military on him to escort him out of the place on a stretcher. Imagine ruining all that you have built in just one night. Well, in the case of Dave Navarro, he lived his dream and threw it all away for doing something terrible in one night. Dave Navarro is a name that resonates in the world of music and television, known for his remarkable career that spans both fields. But with all that he has achieved, there was still one dream location that he had not visited. Just like any Hollywood star, Dave desired to stay at the Playboy Mansion, a place for Hollywood stars to stay and indulge in their desires. Eventually, Dave Navarro had his chance to enjoy plenty of time at the Playboy Mansion, but one wild night, he crossed the line and got himself banned from the place that so many people tried hard to get into. According to reports, Dave got high from doing drugs inside the mansion and wrote on the mansion's walls with his blood. Via his acts, he scandalized Playboy's then editor-in-chief, Hugh Hefner, who forced Dave to vacate the premises. Not just that, he was banned from ever visiting the Playboy Mansion ever again. Next is Vincenil, the musician who took the life of another. Back in 1984, while the Hanoi rock band was making waves in the rock scene, tragedy hit when their beloved drummer, Razzle, died in an accident. That was what happened, but the story isn't that simple. Razzle and Vince knew each other vaguely because they belonged to different groups, but somehow they met and had to ride together in Vince's car on the night of the unfortunate event. Suddenly, Vince lost control of his car in a wet spot while swerving around a stationary fire truck at 65 miles per hour in a 25 miles per hour zone. His Ford Pantera then careered into the path of oncoming traffic and was struck by two other cars. The driver of one of them, 18-year-old Lisa Hogan, was rushed in critical condition to the hospital, where she remained in a coma until the end of the month with a broken arm and 2 broken legs. She also had brain damage that left her liable to psychomotor seizures, while her passenger, 20-year-old Daniel Smithers, also suffered a broken leg and some brain damage. Thankfully, the driver of the third vehicle was uninjured, and Vince himself miraculously escaped serious injury, only suffering cracked ribs and minor facial cuts. However, Razzle was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. After investigation, it was discovered that Vince was drunk driving that night and was eventually charged with drunk driving and vehicular manslaughter. Subsequently, Vince only spent 20 days in jail, as he was released on $2,500 bail and was ordered to pay $2.6 million in compensation to the injured parties and also complete 200 hours of community service. Fast forward to 2016, and Neil was already in the headlines for all the wrong reasons again. He was arrested after a video of him pulling a lady by her hair went viral. Vince claimed he only pushed past a female autograph seeker, but according to police records, officers reviewed surveillance footage which showed Vince indeed pulled the woman down to the ground by her hair. As Vince denied that the situation ever got physical between them, the woman spoke about how she suffered a sore neck pain as well as pain in her lower back and hip. According to the woman, she said she saw and followed Nicolas Cage before being pulled down by Vince Neil. As if that was not enough, Vince still got into a fight with someone else outside the venue while Nicolas tried to be a peacemaker. Again, that scene was captured on camera, making it difficult for Vince Neil to clear himself of battery charges. Well, people were not that shocked to see all that Vince did proly because of his record, but it's not the same for the fans of. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.